Thank you for joining us for the last panel of the day before our communique signing ceremony and handover to South Africa. We're going to have our panel from FIGE. Our panel is about young leadership from Latin America to South Africa. And as I've said many times today, a good panel needs a good moderator. And we're very lucky to have Marcelo Gomes giving the moderation. So I'd ask you to come to the stage. Marcelo is a G20YA Sherpa for Brazil, and essentially you and I and a whole bunch of other people have been trying to keep everything on track. Thank you. You have 30 minutes for your panel.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is with great pleasure that we start our final panel before we head to the closing ceremony and passing the torch, handing over to South Africa, our next hosts, and of course, the most excited moment, the signing of the communique. For this conversation today, I wanted to invite some friends with whom we're going to discuss the main challenges and the main opportunities that we see for young entrepreneurs in mostly developing countries. So to start, my great friend and the person who suggested the creation of this panel, Fausto Brighetti, the G20 Sherpa for Argentina. Also, I would like to invite our friend Alfredo Ortiz, which is the representative and the president of the Young Entrepreneurs Alliance for Mexico, Coparmex. Last but not least, our next host, Inocencia Moto, the G20 Sherpa for South African and incoming summit host. Not Sherpa, president. Well, for us to start, I will ask some questions, and we are going to have this very informal conversation. The idea here is that today we want to explore some challenges and some opportunities in developing countries. We truly believe that the fact that the G20 is happening this year in a developing country and next year is going to be hosted by another developing country, but with similarities, but of course some differences, is something very interesting. So to start, I will ask Fausto to share with us his comments on how do you perceive what are the main challenges from your point of view and the main opportunities for Argentinian entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs with the world. How do you think Argentinian young entrepreneurs can benefit of joining this type of event, the summit and the FIGE, and how do you believe that these events could contribute to boosting foreign trade, boosting commercial opportunities, and of course, the attraction of investment flows?
Thanks, Marcelo. I would like to start thanking you, Lucas, Marcos, and Conaje in general to arrange this amazing summit here. Congratulations, guys. Answering your question, I believe that our main challenge is to get the talent in the region first, because we have an amazing talent that we see, for example, Bautista and Rodrigo from Reform Infinity pitching of how we do in Argentina, talking about startup. We are one of the countries that have many unicorns, as Brazil also and Mexico. So that is one of the measures that we have to show to the world how good we are when we do startups. In second hand, we can be a region to provide services to the world, exporting our digital, for example, startups, and we believe that adding value in all the chain is going to be the way that we have to promote our region and our countries in future.
Alfredo, sorry, I was going to start in Spanish. Share your comments with us. What do you believe?
Yeah, I think, Marcelo, right now Mexico is in a bright moment. We've been reaching our historic exportation numbers. This year we were close to 600 billion total exports. We are the number one commercial partner of the US. And I think it's a huge opportunity to take this traction but continue developing the country. This G20 has broadened our vision, and when you are in a different environment, you start seeing things you used not to see. And first of all, I noticed that in Mexico we have this notion of a national economy. I mean, the retail stores are the same from the north to the south. The big companies are always pushing to get into the whole country. And this is a great opportunity because in Mexico, most of the exporting companies are in the north. So we need to make sure to develop the south region in order to be able to have this social development and work on the social problems we have, because we have learned in Mexico that economic development is not the same than social development. And in that sense, Marcelo, partnering up with Latin America starts to be a priority for Mexico, because if we only focus in our northern market and partners, we will lose opportunity and traction on the southeast region of our country. So I would say we need to take this moment in order to develop the regions of Mexico that need to be developed, and we also need to focus in increasing the value of the products we do. We are growing every year 2 digits in premium fresh produce industry. We are the number one auto part supplier of the US. We are the number one medical device manufacturing sector in all the western region of America. And I think those are the industries we need to focus in. We need to add value, and I share with Fausto this vision of also working and prioritizing the talent development. If we start to have more participation in software development, technology, and financial services, we are going to be an integral partner for our international partners.
Excellent. Now, let us hear from our next host. How do you believe that? What is the importance of hosting the G20 Young Entrepreneurs Alliance Summit next year, and coming from a developing country to another developing country?
Thank you, Marcelo. One, it's going to be a very big challenge for us to sort of curate and style our summit to basically talk to the conversations that will address our developing country problems, and also appreciating the mixture of the different types of economies on the G20 platform. For me, the G20 platform, needs to always talk about that balance and inclusivity. It needs to talk to best practices. It needs to talk to economic empowerment through skills development. We, as developing countries, we cannot sit by ourselves and think we can find our own solutions all the time. We need to see what's best out there so that we can emulate what is best and apply it into our countries. Developing countries are a force. We are economies that are, that seek that transition. So that's where opportunities actually lie. And our theme for next year will definitely be about that inclusive economy. South Africa, for instance, we're a world-class, we are a developed country, but we are world-class. And there's few sectors that, that are really on the lips of every investor out there that will be interested in investing in South Africa. The green hydrogen economy is starting to be on a pellet. Power supply, infrastructure, mining. So as developing as we are, I think we are transitioning into an economy that the world seeks, and also helping entrepreneurs understand that economies are not equal, hence this globalization. We need to appreciate that fact so that we create a platform where we can share and complement each other as different types of economies. So we're gonna look at that inclusivity and how we can all respectively influence policies that will talk to, that sharing, that benchmarking, that best practice conversation, so that we become world class and we see what world class looks like. Because I think that's the biggest understanding we want people to have by the time they leave South Africa.
One thing that was raised here that you mentioned during your comments is related to the country brand perception. I will speak on behalf of Brazil. Brazil is perceived internationally as a commodities exporter, of course. We export lots of mining products, of course, lots of beef and meat in general, and agricultural products. But this is not the only thing we are good at doing. So how do you believe, this is a challenge for Brazilians, how do you believe that we can change that? How can we change the perception, the international perception of the country brand? So Mexico faces similar struggles, Argentina, and of course South Africa. How can we change the mindset of people towards a more accurate perception of the country?
I think Mexico is perceived like a place full of opportunity, but also a place with risk. So we need to work with risk. In Coparmex, we have designed this modelo de desarrollo inclusivo. It's an inclusive development model. And basically in Mexico, we need to make sure no one leaves behind the economic development. So we are, as you know, in Mexico, we've been pushing the minimum wage in order to increase this economic floor. But we need also to focus in improving education. One of the main problems, of course, we have in Mexico, and we have to work together with all our neighbors, is the organized crime topic. It's a social issue which has a huge affection on how the world perceives us. And we think that if we start working on the root cause of this problematic, starting from education, poverty, we should be able to improve and then be showed to the world more opportunities and less risk.
I believe Argentina have been the famous brand Argentine beef and Malbec, and I believe that the future of that is going to be the agtech and the foodtech ecosystem that we are developing, inviting with the new government that we have, with the new vision of free trade and new investment, the chance to show to the world how good we are in that ecosystem, the technology in the farming. In other hand, also we have Vaca Muerta region in Patagonia for oil and gas. That is going to be the new brand of Argentina, or the lithium in the north, where Elon Musk is investing. I believe the mining is going to be oil and gas, mining, and agtech and foodtech are going to be the new brands of Argentina in the near future.
Yeah, brand positioning is quite important, and hence we're hosting next year. We've managed to bring our brand agency with us to the trip. I know, and I'm gonna just give a very simple example of crime. South Africa is worrisome when you think about it, when people say, oh, crime, yeah? But what are we doing about it? It's that we are repurposing our country. It's our responsibility to repurpose and reshape our narrative as a country, and we are here to do it. And you never know the good that will come out of our country if you don't visit us. It is a safe country. We promote our brand as well by emphasizing on our unique value proposition as a country. On an investment point of view, we've got the mines, we've got the wine, we've got the same climate set up as Brazil and Argentina, but South Africa is the one to go to, and you'll never know if you don't come there, right? We need to kill the stigma of crime. Crime is everywhere, anytime, at any given city, So the stigma around crime it's gonna die based on our journey, inviting you all to come to South Africa. So branding is it's a state of mind. We need to, reshape, repurpose our messaging. And for you to know about a brand for a country, you need to visit it. Thank you.
Excellent. Now, I wanted to understand what are your thoughts on how can our institutions as young leaders, and here we have an audience full of young leaders, can support and can help our countries or our young entrepreneurs to add value to our products. Is it shift towards a more service-related economy? What would be the best way to support this shift, this change, which you mentioned, Alfredo? It is very important. And what are your comments on that?
I think organizations such as G20 have a protagonic participation in this change. Mexico has been working from the early 90s in this model oriented to the world. Okay, so when you go, and this year we are 33 delegates from all over Mexico. You have people from Monterrey, but you have people from the Northwest, and you have people from the Southeast. Each one of our delegates are fully fluent in English. When you go to all the entrepreneurial community, you will see that people is used to, and we have been prepared to be ready to the world. Mexico is a country with more trade agreements with more countries. So when you take this entrepreneurial community to G20, what you do is you open the eyes, and we are ready to do so. So I would say these platforms are very important for all countries, but are protagonic in Mexico narrative because the entrepreneurial community is ready to go to the world.
In Argentina, I believe a good way to promote this kind of meetings or summits are, for example, to have here our main director of UNAGE. UNAGE is the association in Argentina of young entrepreneurs, to show to all of members how good is this chance. If you are not here, it's very difficult to understand what we are living here. So I believe that we need to promote to the young businessman to travel more, to meet more people abroad, and to come to this kind of event. Even with FIGE, the events that we are making year by year are very important to assist and to see the opportunities that we have connecting with border countries, for example. So I believe to stay here now, and Julian Lozardo, our executive director, is one of the ways to promote that.
Okay, I asked him to reiterate the question. It's about, how entrepreneurs can come in and actually bring new solutions to the fore. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. We are about solutions to life problems. However, how would you test your solution if you don't come to platforms such as this? Here we have conversation of what works and what's not working, or how life should not be like. So the G20 platform for young entrepreneurs is very important to test the thinking, to test the solutions, to share the success factors of the solutions, to share the risks of entrepreneurship, to share the failures of entrepreneurship, to share the pace at which failure must happen and what lessons one takes out of those experiences. So I believe entrepreneurship is still a force of solving economic problems of the globe, and we should foster that, and we mustn't be shy about it. We must be deliberate about supporting young entrepreneurs. I always say, and I said to that young fellow Xavier from France, that I've been exposed to entrepreneurship from a young age. And my grandfather always said, you're not young forever, but you're an adult forever. So as a young person, maximize your time, change the world, bring change to your fellow communities, and be conscious about your surrounding as a business person. So I'd encourage more of such platforms. I'll encourage us scaling as an alliance. I'll encourage us involving other countries beyond the 20 top economies so that we can even learn better and get the support young entrepreneurs need going forward. Thanks.
Now we are coming to an end because we have the communique signing ceremony. But I wanted to hear some final remarks from you and maybe some words to inspire the young entrepreneurs to take part and to engage in associations and the movements that we are part of, such as CONAGES, such as UNAGE, Copermex, and all of the movements that we represent. And of course, to promote and to support the establishment of institutions such as Fiji, which represents Ibero-America region, and of course the G20 Young Entrepreneurs Alliance.
Thank you, Marcelo. I would close saying that Mexico is it's a community focused on entrepreneurship. We have in Mexico over 6 million companies. So when you do the math, around every 20 Mexican, it's one entrepreneur. However, we struggle to make these companies to last and to make these companies to grow. So what we're doing in the Mexican delegation, each one of these delegates are not only entrepreneurs, but they are company leaders. They have, each one of them lead a young local organization. So what we are trying to do in our organization is to provide entrepreneurs with this information, training, strategy, vision, to give them all the tools in order to move forward and continue growing with their project. So I would say opening the eyes and see what the world is seeing is definitely part of this path to make companies grow, to find your place in the world market. And we are very, very thankful to be a part of this summit, Marcelo, and thanks for being such a good host in Brazil.
I believe that in Argentina, for example, being part of UNAGE is a good way to understand what others are doing. You need to get more connections with other startups, to listen more that you are saying, and to fully agree with you, to capacitate more the young entrepreneurs. So that is the way to continue learning. We need to learn and learn because everything is changing, and the way that everything is changing is super fast in this moment. So being part of that kind of institution make our ecosystem more strong, and we can grow together faster than by ourselves.
And I think I've just addressed the same issue in my previous comments. Young entrepreneurs are innovators. Young entrepreneurs are the future leaders. And there's no reason why we can't engage them and help them build capacity in their businesses. And like I always tell them, be out there, create, get solutions that will sort out global problems, fail forward, fail quickly, and fail responsibility, take risks. The more risks you take, the more returns you get. And you need to encourage and make sure that we are supporting young entrepreneurs, create the funding necessary for their businesses as a collective that's sitting here. So it's gonna be what it is going forward. We need this kind of platforms. They are world class and very supportive of young businesses and our future leaders. Yeah, thank you.
Finally, I would like to thank our distinguished panelists. Just wanted now to ask you for applause to our panelists. And now we conclude the program of the panel, and I hand over to Alex to continue the program. Thank you.
That was a great discussion. Thank you. We have 2 more items of business to transact. We are going to sign the communique that is going to go to the G20 leaders process. So we're going to have to reset this stage. There will be a nice table here that looks very official. We'll have a signing of the communique. After we do that, we will have a presentation from our South African friends, because the next summit is where, Meliki? South Africa. South Africa, okay? Some of us are already getting in the vibe. So if we can take 10 minutes, don't stray too far, feel free to stretch your legs, but we'll redo the stage, come back in here for the communique signatory. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I will start this with the phrase that we used on the first evening. How's everybody doing? We'll try again. How's everybody doing? Much better. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a packed couple of days. This is a culmination of a lot of work that has been done by our governance, by our partnership, thought leadership, and marketing committee. There's been committees of young entrepreneurs working on this, but I want to take a minute to explain to you what this is. In the middle of November in Rio, the G20 leaders are going to meet in Brazil. Brazil is hosting the G20 summit in Rio. And that's where the leaders of the most powerful economies in the world and everybody who works for them sit around a whole bunch of tables and say, what kind of policies, what kind of investments, what kind of direction does the world need? And we, in our small way, are providing input into that because we know what young entrepreneurs need, but they don't quite know that yet. So what this committee has been doing, and we do this at every summit, we write a communique that says to those leaders, we are the world's young entrepreneurs, and this is what young entrepreneurs need. And we don't do it out of selfishness. It isn't, we all need lower taxes, although many countries do. It isn't that we all need investment, some countries do. The idea behind this is the opportunity that we have all been able to enjoy as entrepreneurs should be available to more people, regardless of where they're coming from, regardless of where they are in the world. The mission of the G20 Young Entrepreneurs Alliance that was set in Incheon, Korea in 2010 in the fall, in a very small room that has grown to a movement like this, said the 21st century should be the century of the entrepreneur, and the creativity and the innovation that you all embody, people anywhere in the world should be able to put that into action to start a business. That's at the root of all these recommendations. There's 5 pages of recommendations here, and they're good. So please join me in thanking the Committee of Young Entrepreneurs that put this together over the last couple of months. So the way this works, we will have the current, past, and future hosts of the summits sign first. They will step behind these chairs, and 3 by 3, I will call the presidents of the organizations across the G20 that are members of the alliance to come and sign their names. When everyone has signed, we will have a final communique that is going to go to the G20 leader process. That's what we're doing now. So there will be time right after this to take pictures with your president signing and everything. The other thing we recommend you do, if you have good social media followers, or even if you don't, share the news of this with as many people as you can. Share, exactly, thumbs up over here. Share news of what we're asking for, share news that this has been signed, and when it is finally posted online, share copies with every entrepreneur you know, because I know that when they see these recommendations, they will say, yeah, that's what entrepreneurs like me need. Okay? So without further ado, we're going to start the communique signing process. I would like to invite the presidents representing Brazil, India, and South Africa to come and join us on the stage. Brazil will be in the center. So India will be on on my left, your right, and South Africa will be right here. So if you could join us on the stage, please. Okay. You are the future. You sign here. Marcus, you're in the middle. Michelle, you're right here. Go ahead. Exchange the document. So, we have 3 copies, so there's a bit of signing. Okay, great. Thank you. If you guys could just stand behind, we'll have our next 3 signatories. Next 3 signatories are Argentina, Canada, and China. Please join us on the stage. Please go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. If I could now invite France, the EU, and Italy to join us on the stage, please. I want this back. Don't let anybody take it. Excellent. Thank you. Some pictures. There we go. Okay, great. Thank you. Signing next will be Mexico, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. Thank you. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Turkey. There we go. So transfer over. So you all have to sign one copy. Thank you. Want to step to the back, please? Final signatories, the UK and Spain, please. United Kingdom and Spain. Signing virtually as well were our members from Japan and Germany who were unable to join us here in person. Thank you. If you could just step to the back, please. I will ask you to hold this up. And that's our picture. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 communique. Okay, great. Any more pictures? Great. Thank you very much. Thanks very much to our president.
Picture with the three of us and with the community on three holding on the three flags.
As we reset the table, yes. So if you guys want to go over there, and we'll get the picture. We're just going to quickly reset the stage for our final thing for South Africa. While we do so, we're probably going to do a couple of pictures over here. So that's great. You can leave the stage. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I think they want to do a picture with you over here. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Good to see Argentina back on the stage. Yeah, reset. Thank you. Good. I'm gonna try to get it. Yeah. Could I ask you to take a quick one? Would you mind? Thank you. One more with your moderator, guys.
Thank you so much.
If possible. If you
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to turn the floor over very quickly to the chair of the G20YA Steering Committee, the outgoing chair. We don't call him that because he's very outgoing, because you are, but it's also that at the end of every summit, the chair passes on to the past chair of the summit. So now that Brazil's summit is closing as of today, Brazil becomes chair of the steering committee. And Vishal, I understand you have a presentation for Marcus.
Well, thank you, Marcus, for a beautiful 2 days celebrating our alliance, learning in process. You've done a good job, and I wish you all the best, wish Brazil all the best, and hopefully we grow from here as an organization stronger. Thank you very much, and good luck to South Africa. Innocentia, where are you? All the energy that you bring in. We look forward to go to South Africa next year. Thank you, thank you.
No, I don't know where he is. Okay, so I think we're good. No. Oh, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. Okay. So thank you. We have one item of business left to conclude, which is the passing of the torch from Brazil to South Africa. At the end of every summit, the clock of one host winds down and the clock for the next one starts up. So, I don't know if you already have a countdown clock on your computer, but I know you have one going on in your head. Each summit poses a challenge to the new host. And I know Inno and her team are already saying, what are we going to do to give people an experience like India? What are we going to do to give people an experience like Brazil? So that's what's going through their mind. So I understand, Inno, we have a video we're going to play. Is that correct? And then I believe we have remarks from His Excellency the Ambassador. So if we could have our video play.
Is who we are. More than 60 million different voices echoing in harmony from the southernmost part of the continent. where ordinary people have carved their names in an extraordinary history by showing the world that peace is always better than war. Our reach is not limited by our borders, bringing joy in people's hearts and a spark of rhythm to their moves. This is the welcome home of opportunity, inspiring millions to look here in search of a better life, and sharing our best with the world. We are home to undulating mountains, flowers, endless seas, the beautiful animal kingdom, and the ever-changing seasons that color our world. We are the birthplace of humanity and a showcase of human excellence. We believe in South Africa. We are inspired by our victories of the past and our strong institutions to overcome the challenges of today and build a better tomorrow. This is who we are, South African. South Africa, inspiring new ways.
This is a message by Bread South Africa.
I would now invite His Excellency, the Ambassador of South Africa to Brazil, to offer remarks. Your Excellency, welcome.
Boa noite, todos. You know, I was going to read my speech out of this phone, but I've been told that I've got only 3 minutes here on this stage, and my speech is 25 minutes long. So I'm not going to read my speech. You all want to go to South Africa? Ah, okay. So let's start from the beginning. If you want to go to South Africa first, you must know how to greet when you get there. So may you turn and look at your neighbor and say, Sawubona. You are not turning, you are not turning. Turn and look at your neighbor and say, Sawubona. That is the most common greeting in South Africa, and it comes from Zulu. That's one of our languages. By the way, we've got 12 official languages in South Africa. The 12th one is actually the sign language. And the 12 languages tell you how diverse we are. But Sawubona actually means a simple thing. It means, I see you. In other words, it means, I recognize you. You are a human being. And it's linked to another national theme in South Africa called Ubuntu. The spirit, we talk of the spirit of Ubuntu. In other words, all it says is that I am because you are. In other words, I am in you and you are in me. I'm your brother and your sister's keeper. You are your brother and your sister's keeper. Those are the fundamental principles. Some of you are wearing this scarf. You know, Desmond Tutu, the late Desmond Tutu, coined a term for South Africa. He said it's the rainbow nation. So South Africa is known as the rainbow nation. And this scarf tells you about the essence of that rainbow nation. Because we are one of the most diverse countries in the world. Most diverse culturally, in terms of ethnicity, race, and so on and so forth. So those are the things that you need to understand, the first things you need to understand about South Africa. I don't have much time. I want to pay tribute to all of you who are here, but especially to my delegation from South Africa. This beautiful, energetic. These beautiful, energetic young ladies that are driving this process from the South African side. You know, they are ladies, young ladies. In South Africa, we put a lot of emphasis on the value of women. You know, today, I'm sure most of you know that we've just had national elections in South Africa. And today, as we're speaking now, as I'm standing here, our parliament is meeting for the first time to elect the president, to elect the speaker of parliament, and the deputy speaker of parliament. And just about an hour ago, the parliament elected a woman to be the speaker of parliament. Now, since 1994, this is the seventh administration. This is the seventh administration. And out of those 7 administrations, only once did you have a male speaker. All of them have been women. Please clap. So these women here, Innocentia and your colleagues, represent that spirit of our women, the leadership spirit of our women. I don't have to tell you much about South Africa. Please come and see for yourself. I'm happy that you are coming, because anyway, I don't have time to tell you much about South Africa. I can talk until cows come back home. But a few things that you might know or you might not know about South Africa. South Africa is the biggest economy in the African continent. South Africa is the most developed economy in the African continent. South Africa is the most industrialized economy in the South African continent. South Africa is the most diverse economy in the South African continent. South Africa has got the most developed infrastructure in the African continent. If you go to Africa and you go around Africa, you'll realize that more than 60% of the railroads in the African continent are actually in South Africa. Am I supposed to stop? Oh, so my 3 minutes is over. So I'm sorry, I can't tell you more about South Africa. But all you must know that your next stop is in South Africa. Please welcome. Thank you.
Mburi ya kubatwa mabhombisa ndhavuko wa Vatsonga. but Africa was born in me. I am an African, not because I live in its soil, but my soul has found home in Africa. Oh yes, I am an African from the southern part of it, South Africa to be specific, born and bred in the northern part of it, Limpopo Kamatianikaya. Zamilo sanguna bele dzonga vuma dambu dza Africa. Ma Africa dza milosa. Tlaisani Africa yeru, Africa inzaka. Now allow me to tell you a story about a nation. A nation raised, a nation built. From the first strand of humankind, forged in the fires of the cradle of humankind. The first strand that left to explore the world and returned, diverse like the grains of sand. Ukusuka enkovukeni, kuyofika kumlomo weharib. South Africa, the birthplace of human cultures. Cultures of Banaba Malo Wasibilo. Cultures of strength. Cultures of humble people. Cultures of resilient warriors. Abantu basezulwini.
Amandla!
Cultures of Banabantari etu. See, when the skies unfold and the African sunrise renews our strength. Ukukholwa kwethu, tepo yaruna, bumunu jahina, matimba yahina. Oh, the spirit of Ubuntu is rooted in our veins. It streams like the green, greasy gray Limpopo River. South Africa is the place that we call home. Africa zonga ikaya rahina. Iningizimu Africa ikaya letu. Africa burwaki likhaya la runa. South Africa, Said Africa, Africa zonga, Africa burwa, iningizimu Africa, Africa chipembe, Africa burwa. And this is our story. So as you hand over the torch to us, let your hopes be ignited without fear, because South Africa is ready to welcome you home. Intambi yamtsanga ngoshomba makhutwa amadafula latsunduka mwana yethu akuyo mwananga Vito Masingita.
I almost don't want to say anything to ruin the magic of that. Wasn't that fantastic? Yeah. Wow. I'm now going to call upon Marcus Mafia from Brazil to come to the stage to pass the torch to our colleagues from South Africa. Marcus.
Hi everyone, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming here to our hometown to prestige our event. And we hope and we will fight to get all Brazilians we can to South Africa, because we know it will be a beautiful summit. It's a place, South Africa is a place that I already go in. It's very, very beautiful. One of my favorite places in the world. So we are very excited to go there. And good luck for you.
Thank you, Anita. I'm just giving this touch. And I'm going to... Alex. Thank you very much. And may I call all our South African delegates to be on stage with me while I give my brief address about what's expected for next year. Please come through. Quickly. Honored guests, esteemed colleagues, and fellow young entrepreneurs, I would like to start by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to our Brazilian hosts for putting together an exceptional summit. Your hard work and dedication have made this truly unforgettable. Thank you, Brazil, for whom your warm welcome came from in hospitality and setting the bar for what we need to do in the following year. Today, we gather to mark a significant milestone in our young journey as young entrepreneurs in South Africa. As the president of YESA and a proud member of the G20 Young Entrepreneur Alliance and one of the founders, I am thrilled to announce and accept the torch and to say that South Africa will host you well next year in 2025. We promise to deliver a brilliant summit that exceeds your expectation. Our goal is to create a meaningful business engagement, share best practices like I've just mentioned earlier, and facilitate impactful exchanges among young entrepreneurs from around the world. We will showcase the beauty and diversity of our South African culture, ensure a colorful and unforgettable experience of our delegates at our Rainbow Nation. Furthermore, we guarantee that women will be given sufficient space to have a voice and be a massive part of the summit. We are committed to creating an inclusive environment where women entrepreneurs can share their experiences and showcase innovation and receive the recognition they deserve. We will deliberately celebrate their successes and provide opportunities for networking, mentorship, and empowerment. We also recognize the vast potential of the African continent and the importance of our regional collaboration. We aim to connect entrepreneurs not only from South Africa, but also from across the African continent. We're going to foster partnerships with them, innovation and growth. Our summit will provide a platform for African entrepreneurs to share their beautiful stories and showcase their global worth. Please note, since that the ambassador has alluded that our government has just been formed this afternoon, please note that the venue and timing of the summit are not yet finalized, as our government is still in the process of formation after our recent elections. We are exploring options to host the summit in either Johannesburg or Cape Town. Johannesburg is our main commercial hub, and Cape Town has a vibrant and beautiful culture and is a beautiful city. Regardless of the chosen venue, we will ensure that the program includes experiences in both cities, as well as the thrilling safari adventures. We commit to providing a safe and memorable conference to all attendees. Our theme of Hakuna Matata, no problems, will reflect our determination to ensure that the fun and the learning go hand in hand. We promise to make you experience a South African that's truly unforgettable. To our fellow delegates from across the globe, we extend our warm welcome to our Rainbow Nation. We are ready to share our hospitality, our vibrant culture, and our entrepreneurial spirit with you. Let us work together to create a brighter future for all. Thank you, and let the countdown to the G20 Summit South Africa begin. I would like to then invite all of you to join us in a song and dance as we show you how it's done in South Africa. over to you. Feel free to go crazy and dance with us.
Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami.
Hello. Your assembly is now closed. Please go outside for the group picture. Group picture through the doors. Thank you.